7 Oldest Civilizations on Earth. 7. Olmecs, 1500 BC. The Olmecs were the earliest known Mesoamerican civilization. They flourished between 1500 and 400 BC. The Olmecs were the first to play the Mesoamerican ball game. They built huge stone statues and made intricate jade masks. The Olmec writing system may have been the first in the Western Hemisphere. Their civilization vanished mysteriously, giving way to the Maya. 6. Sansingdy, 1700 BC. Sansingdy was a major Bronze Age culture in China, but unlike other Chinese civilizations, it left very little behind. This Sansingdy flourished in the 12th and 11th centuries BC. They had developed metallurgy and cosmology. Their statues and weapons are stunningly beautiful. It is thought that the Sansingdy people were wiped out by an earthquake. 5. Egypt, 3150 BC. Ancient Egypt existed for thousands of years. The earliest era is known as the early dynastic period. Prehistoric Egypt was mostly a peasant society, but around 3600 BC, it began to grow and advance rapidly. New and distinctive pottery appeared. Extensive use of copper became common. Egyptians started using Mesopotamian architectural principles. By the time of the Old Kingdom, they were building pyramids. 4. Indus Valley, 3300 BC. The Indus Valley civilization is as famous as it is mysterious. It was one of the 3 early civilizations of the Near East and South Asia. It was an urbanized society that reached its peak around 2500 BC. They had a written language, sewage systems, and agriculture. They even had some form of dentistry. For thousands of years, they thrived without war or conflict. But by 1800 BC, people had begun to abandon the cities. No one knows exactly why, as the Indus script remains undeciphered. 3. Sumer, 5500 BC. Sumerians reigned in Mesopotamia for 2 millennia. Sumer is considered one of the cradles of civilization. At its peak, around 2800 BC, the city of Er-Nammu had a population of 80,000. This made it the world's largest city. Sumer consisted of several city-states, each enclosed by a wall. The Sumerian language is the oldest linguistic record. Cuneiform tablets allowed the Sumerians to have written rules. The Code of Er-Nammu was written around 2400 BC. It was the first set of written laws in human history. Sumerians even had literature. Sumer later gave rise to Akkadian and Babylon. 2. Nubia, 7500 BC. The Nubia people once lived in the Nubian desert. They were one of the earliest astronomers in the world. By the 5th millennium BC, they had built the earliest known astronomical devices. There are stone structures aligned with the stars. There's also a calendar circle that indicates the summer solstice. The Nubia didn't leave anything else behind. 1. ChleHuuk, 7500 BC. ChleHuuk is named after the archaeological site in Turkey. It was a large polity that reached its peak around 7000 BC. It consisted of a number of settlements. The mound settlements were abandoned before the Bronze Age. The people of ChleHuuk were probably nomadic hunter-gatherers. They may have only used the settlements during the winter, but there are also some signs of agriculture. ChleHuuk was composed entirely of domestic buildings. Some of the larger ones have rather ornate murals. The houses are clustered together with roof access. There's some evidence that they had a system of waste disposal.